Good evening, folks, and welcome to Cooking with Dan Leslie. My name is Janet Ricasardi-Hoff. I will be your host this evening in Dan's kitchen with Dan. Hi, Dan.
Hey, gang.
You're a little tired.
Not too spry and chipper today.
No.
This is a Friday morning, coming off of a Thursday.
What can we do to make you feel better?
Kill me. Shoot me right on sight. Oh, my Lord, I can't believe it. But the long and the short of it is, I am beat today, let me tell you.
Oh, boy.
Well, let's get to some cooking
Yeah,
anyway.
I was going to say it doesn't really look like it's affected your preparation. We've got three, pans going on back here. It looks
Right,
like
more going on than I can handle.
pot with sauce. Yeah, looks like a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
Well, I was going to do a steak dish. I was going to do a linguine marinara just to show our viewers. Somebody had asked me on the street that, they were constantly making pasta with a red sauce and it's just not coming out right. And I was going to explain that on the tube, how to get it prepared up to the nth degree right up till serving. And I was going to try to work on a new appetizer. I was going to get we got some crab meat here. But that looks like crab meat. It looks like cat food. But this is claw crab meat. We're going to use lump crab meat, but we can get the dish done. I can mess around with it on the show here. I've never done it before, but I was thinking of making this crab meat into a sauce and having another type of sauce under it and rolling it into a crepe here.
Oh, I was wondering
with
where
some asparagus.
Yeah, I was looking at the
I think that might be a neat little appetizer. Just want to shift my
sounds different
delivery around a little bit. Why don't I start with that pasta dish? I got the sauce ready and everything else is ready. Once again, it's if you're going to serve a meat sauce, it's not something, I'm not a great believer in mixing the meat and the fish together. You can have a vegetarian dish, of course. There's nothing wrong with just having a little pasta and salad too, but let's just say too, you had some broiled chicken or a fish fillet, or you did something on the grill. And you wanted to have a little starch, you're sick of rice and potato and stuff, and maybe you wanted to get a little pasta going with it. And so whether you make your own marinara sauce or not, or you bought something in a jar, I just try to get it where we have a little pot of it going.
Okay.
And so, you got your salad ready to toss. Maybe you have a couple chicken cutlets on the grill there or something else, or something roasted in the oven. And you can serve all of that. I mean, you can get the chicken out and resting. The salad will take 2 seconds to dress, but you want to leave this pasta till the very end. I cooked off this linguine. Normally I put a little bit of oil in it to make sure it stays loose. And I have some rolling water there. So this is exactly how you should have it set up, on your stovetop. You should have some boiling water. You should have some... And actually, you can really get this done even without the water. But I did undercook the pasta a lot. If you did cook the pasta properly, you wouldn't even need the water. But I'm going to put this pasta in the water. Break that down a little bit because you want to cook it nice and wiry. So before you even get going, you want to really get this in and out of the water sooner than you might think, because the water is the one thing that can really ruin the dish. And like I said, but the marinara sauce, whether you did your own or you had a store-bought, I prefer we make our own, of course. And this pasta is going to cook down. Now this is an imported linguine here. It's nice and yellow, semolina pasta, and nothing against some of the more domestic versions, but they're a little heavier and starchier and stuff.
I was going to say
I don't want to
the
mention
color
any
is actually a
names.
little bit more golden too, isn't it?
Yes.
For the imported?
Right. And then what we're going to do is get a very large pan and put it on your skillet. Now for this we want to use a really nice olive oil. And to me this is a key ingredient. And we're going to get this pan nice and hot. I should have gotten the pan hot before I put the oil in, but then again I've already made an excuse for myself. I'm not functioning on all cylinders today. So I guess I'll put this some of this marinara sauce right in here. And you don't want to have too much. You can always add a little bit more back in there. Put a little parsley in now to start. And this is something, if you had 2 to 4 people, even if you had a few little dishes there, you could plate it up real quick for everyone. I would recommend, if you're going to have a lot of people that you were going to serve, maybe you want to use a rigatone, a penne, or something like that. So if you put it in a bowl, it's easy to get at. Once you put one of these longer pastas in the bowl, if you're going to pass something around, it's more difficult to do. So you know, if you had 2 to 4 people or something, you could you know, you could plate it up for them or something like that. But I don't recommend passing the bowl with the old linguine in it. All right, we got this going. You don't want to put too much pasta in, because the pan will have a tough time dominating it.
So if you were cooking for several people, would it be better to have 2 pans then going at the same time, or does that matter?
I don't know. I wouldn't do this for a lot of people, this particular fashion. You know, we'd have to go to Plan B, something that wouldn't be as nice as this. I'm going to put some Parmesan cheese in, but I'm not going to stir this up until I'm ready to finish the dish. So I'm going to let this stuff marry itself up. Did you see it was a little oily there with that olive oil in there and stuff? That is just such a great flavor. You know, you don't want to go wacky with it, but it's just a really nice flavor. So you want to get the all that stuff married up and get that noise level back up again. And you can see that this is sticking to the bottom of the pan. So the main thing is when I stir that Parmesan cheese in, you want it off the burner, okay? You don't want to be cooking this stuff with the cheese on there. And you can always add a little bit more back on top. So there was that really very al dente pasta we had. It's still very al dente. There's not a lot of water hanging around. It's got the little glistening of the olive oil. We got some Parmesan in there, some nice marinara sauce, and we'll plate this up. All right. But this is something special. I mean, you know, if you toss it, you know, you can toss it in a bowl and everything, and you know, it can work out pretty well and stuff and taste real good. But you know, when you can get this sort of thing going, it just makes it extra special.
Wow, what an aroma.
Yeah, it's only linguine marinara, but boy, you know.
Works for my lunch day.
Right. Could have put a little hot pepper in here. You know, you can always add a little to your own dish. And then you take that sauce that you had and you add it to the top. And you can always put a little bit extra out there. Put a little parsley around. And you can add, like I said, red pepper. You can add anything you want for that matter. Put a little drop in the center there, you know, and serve your salad with that, or serve a little broiled chicken or something, grilled product. But, you know, it's a real neutral thing. There's no meat in it, you know, it's just a linguine marinara.
Okay, I'm kind of curious to see what we're going to be doing with the crab meat and the crepes.
Yeah, so am I.
Oh, no.
Well, I want to put it on the menu, and I said, what the heck, I'll try it in here. I do have this sauce that I put on a number of fish dishes.
Oh, vin blanc.
That vin blanc,
Oh,
we
I love that stuff.
start with those non-fatty fish bones, this little 2-day sauce. So it's kind of a neutral. You know, we can put a little lemon in this, in the sauce, and some chives. It's got that accent. We could, you know, you can move it in a number of different directions. Some cognac and green peppercorns. So it's very versatile. So, and once again, this crab meat is not what I'm normally going to use. This, like I said, this cat food here. So I guess to get started, I'm just going to take, I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. I'm going to try to make a new appetizer. We also have these crepes here. We make an apple crepe. We make our, we peel and cook our own apples and make our own crepes. These are nice and light. You know, a lot of these store-bought varieties are very, they're a little glommy, yeah, you know, so it doesn't take us that long to knock 100 of these off in the afternoon, and it works out. So I have to figure out if we're going to really overstuff one of these for an hors d'oeuvre, which I think I'm going to try to do, or would it be better to put very little in here and roll it up and maybe have 2 of them, you know? So I'll just have to figure that out as I go along. You don't want to make a big project out of this, but I guess what I'm going to do is put some of the vin blanc into this pan here. I mean, it's a lot of work right now for one appetizer, but I'm just trying to figure out, just feel my way along. Again, here's that darker crab meat that I'm not thrilled about. I shouldn't call it cat food, boy, but I tell you, I cannot stand getting something that I didn't order. You're looking at me lighting a match to $20 here. So all I'm going to do, I guess, is I'm going to heat this up. I'm going to add a little more salt and pepper to this. There's a little salt and pepper in the vin blanc already. And I was going to roll this with some with asparagus.
Oh,
So I guess what I'll do is I still have this water. I shouldn't put it in a starchy water, but I'm going to do it just for the TV show. I'll try 3 pieces of asparagus, see how that works. All right, I'll just get the asparagus hot like this. Looks like I could put a little more of this crab meat in because I put too much sauce in already. So we probably have enough for 3 or 4 of these hors d'oeuvres. So I guess I'm just going to bring this together, see what happens.
okay.
I'm not going to get all crazy here with, I could put a little chive in there, I guess, to make that jump, but I do want the natural flavors to come out. The vin blanc has a great base flavor,
yes, it
the
does.
asparagus and the crab meat. I mean, that's what we're going to serve. And I think what I'm going to do then is have us serve it with a sauce. And I think what I'll do is put a little white wine and shallot together with the vin blanc also. That's what we'll serve it over. So I'll put a little shallot in here and white wine and marry that up, and maybe add a little more of this vin blanc back to it. See how that comes out. Maybe I could put a little lemon in here in the future. I'm thinking chives, you know, if I feel like it needs a little bit more taste. So I guess what I'm going to do is start simple. Oh boy. I guess I need a little more crab meat. That's going to be very loose, wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or I could tighten that up a little bit. I could reduce it a little also. Why don't I'll put a little bit more of this crab meat in here. That's enough anyway. So I'll add a little sauce to here. So this sauce will just have a little shallot white wine accent to it. Again, I could do some chives, some lemon. You can take this in a 90 different directions, but we'll just start simply to begin with. I'm going to end up putting it on one of these plates here. That's where I'll put the sauce.
Oh, so the sauce goes on the plate underneath.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I was thinking it might go over.
right. Yeah, you could, you know,
That's
put a little in the
nice.
center, put it on there. But the crepe has a nice color,
Sure.
you know, and I like them a little darker, you know. A couple of these are breaking down. We don't want that. I guess I'll put a little crab meat on first, right?
And these crepes are so beautifully thin. I don't know how you get them that thin. That is just great.
Practice, practice,
I
practice.
know. I'm gonna have to come and practice with you a little bit.
So we'll see if I can get this crepe. 2 or we'll try 3 to begin with.
Looks like you said that crab meat just right to me, man.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. But this could be a fun little thing to start with, you know, a little hors d'oeuvre, you know? So we'll go with the 1 crepe, I guess.
Okay.
It'll be a lower carb. We'll call this Atkins, our Atkins friendly menu. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Can't close the crepe. Oh, no.
Well,
Well,
nobody can accuse me of ginging on the old family recipe here, can they? Maybe we could do 2. You know?
sure.
So here's what I'll do. I'll
try.
put the sauce down first.
Okay. That looks nice.
We'll wiggle that around. And, you know, I tell you what, I'm gonna leave this as is. Maybe we can just get it like that. Put it down so you can't see my little boo-boo. And I guess I'm gonna go with a little red and a little green, you know? I'll try the reddy first. This is gonna be a
Yeah,
neat
that gives
little
you a
hors d'oeuvre, you
a
know?
little Visual pop.
Yeah, and I'll just maybe put a little bow in the hair here on the side.
There you go.
We'll go with that. So we've got a
Nice.
little homemade crepe, a little crab meat and asparagus served over a shallot white wine vin blanc. That's a tight little hors d'oeuvre. I wouldn't mind having that, except for the cat food. That's they're calling crab meat.
And we've got one more thing here on the plate.
Yeah, we got a steak.
Yep, steak.
Just gonna cook it with a little cognac, peppercorn
Ooh, cognac.
sauce, a little touch of cream.
Ooh.
Yippity
Sounds
doo.
good. Yes.
All right, I'm gonna finish this dish with a little butter, so I'm not gonna put this expensive olive oil in here. I got a little cheaper stuff. I don't want the pan too hot. Got a nice little New York strip steak. I'm gonna season that later.
Okay.
All right. When you're doing this in the pan, you know, you don't want to have it where it's singed on the outside, purple on the inside, you know. On the other hand, you don't want to poach it either, where it's like gray through and through. So you got to work this out, you know. So you want to be patient to start with. So I'm going to knock that flame down like that, and hopefully we're going to hear that noise level get higher and higher and higher, and we'll work it from there.
So Dan, how'd your golf trip go?
It went pretty well.
Oh, that's right.
All right, you hear the noise level coming up
Oh,
a little
yes,
bit in the
it
pan,
does.
you know.
Yep.
You got to be patient. The steak is thick. This isn't a chicken cutlet or a fish fillet. You know, you just got to be a little patient with this. And notice how impatient I was. I turned the flame up a little bit. So maybe I'll cut that a hair. When we turn the steak over, hopefully it'll brown nicely at the bottom of the pan, and you know, give us a little base in the sauce when we go to make it. Gonna have a little cognac accent to the sauce, and I've got some demi-glace here.
Oh, wonderful.
Got some shallot, a little cream to finish it, and a little butter. Low cholesterol dish here. Atkins friendly though. Atkins. And if you're doing that Atkins, you know, all the way, it's really the only diet you can have a couple cocktails with, like plain vodka or something, you know, or a couple low carb beers. Any of these other diets, you know, you better not be drinking or you're not going to really lose any weight, you know.
Well, but there are a lot of empty calories in, in a lot of alcoholic beverages.
Right. But with the Atkins thing, if you're in ketosis, see, a lot of people get caught in the middle. You know what I mean? They're eating Atkins-friendly things, and next thing you're over the 20 carb limit, and so then you go and eat that pound of bacon, and you end up gaining weight on the diet. You know, so a lot of times there's no middle ground on the Atkins thing, but you can't be on it forever. You know.
No, I would think that would be unhealthy, though. Really.
Right. It is. It's it's
long
designed
time.
for go on it for a few weeks and stuff, but once you get on it, you lose a little bit. If you can really cut out some of these breads and sugars and ice creams and do a little working out, drink some water. I mean, what the hell, right? But the problem is, if you're really on that Atkins thing, there's no cheating and there's a carb limit for the day, or you're going to gain weight. And it's, but it's nice if you can get it down a little bit. Like I got down a little bit last year. I started beefing up a little bit more, so I feel like I'm in a good zone to go on that Atkins now. I can go on it for 2, maybe 3 weeks, and it should help me a lot, The last time I did it, I was just on it too long. It's not good. It's not healthy. But,
Well, I think the best thing is the old standard, right?
what's that?
The old standard. Vegetables, fruits.
Yeah,
not
you eat a lot of that
carbs
stuff.
and some protein. Drink
Right.
plenty of water
Right,
and get plenty of rest, which none of us do.
And a lot of exercise.
right,
And
work
a
out,
lot of exercise, yeah.
But that's maintenance then, once you get down
Yeah,
there,
right.
then are you maintaining, or you're losing, they don't factor the liquor in. So you have to find something that works for you. But if you plan on having a couple of cocktails, the only real diet you can go on, I think, is the Atkins thing, because you can have a little bit of wine, a couple of quarts of vodka. No, but it's the only one you can drink a little bit and beyond. They never bring up the old liquor, do they? All right, that steak's getting there. I did have it on a little too low to begin with.
And
So
then how do you
Greg's gonna
how do
edit
you
out
like
half
the-
of this little
Yeah.
debacle here. What's that?
How do you like the steak? Medium, medium rare?
Today,
Yeah.
it's gonna be anywhere between medium
Rare.
well and mooing. Thank God my guys are cooking tonight, not me. You wouldn't want me cooking for you tonight. Yeah, I should have had this on a little bit higher from the get-go, but
Okay.
and we'll get ready to finish the sauce. Yeah, we're all about sauces. You don't want sauce, you don't talk to Dan.
I love your sauces. You're so meticulous about your sauces, too.
Yeah, we try.
And I like the fact that you do, you know, beef for beef,
Right.
fish for fish, vegetable for vegetable. That's a biggie.
Right. Yeah, we make sure of that. All right, got a little oil left in there. I'll toss that out into this water thing. You'll probably hear a little noise in a minute. No, not too bad. All right, I'm going to take the steak out and let it rest on the board here for a minute or two. I'm going to season that wherever I left the salt and the pepper. I'll do that in a second while the dish is reducing. So what I'm going to add here is some shallot. Going to add some cognac away from the flame. We're going to deglaze the bottom of the pan. It's going to bring all that good stuff up. Now I have that veal
Oh, that is nice.
demi-glace.
Yep.
And I'm going to put a little salt and pepper in that also. I'm going to leave the pepper off for the steak. I'm just going to season it with some salt. I should do the other side also. Put that in the center of the plate. Whoops. Gonna add a few peppercorns. I like these nice soft green peppercorns. And a little cream.
Ooh. That's a nice touch.
I want to get that nice tan color.
Mm-hmm.
There's that little piece of steak that was hanging around. I'll get that later, I guess. It's like that fly buzzing around the room. You want to just murder them. And I'm going to add a little bit of butter to this to help tighten the dish up. As soon as it all gets to a boil, I'll add that butter. That'll bring the dish in nicely together. But bringing up that base of the pan and having that veal, you know, we take a lot of time with that demi-glaze, that brown stock. You saw how gelatinous it was and all with the veal bones. Very expensive, but it's makes a shishy little sauce. You know, it's just nice and. I guess that's good enough, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So we've got our shallot, our cognac, green peppercorns, a little cream and butter. That piece of steak that fell on there. I got to get that off. Let me use my little patties here for that. You get away from me. And I'm going to wiggle this sauce all around. Get a good blend. Maybe I would have normally put a little bit more cream. I like it a little tanner than that, you know. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to garnish this with. I'll try a little parsley, I guess. Maybe a larger piece. I'll put to the side.
That's all you need.
Yeah, that's all we need. And that's a steak with a shallot and cognac green peppercorn sauce, a little cream finish.
Well, here we are, folks. My favorite part of the evening, right, Dan? Where we kind of wrap up what we did, and then I can delve into what we've made.
Might have to have a sword fight with Greg today, I think.
I am so hungry now, too.
Spaghetti's mine, linguine.
We did that crepe here with the crab meat and the asparagus. I
Looks
think
really good.
you know, it's the first time we've tried it. I think next time maybe we go with 2 pieces of asparagus, not 3. Cut the crab meat down a little bit. You know, it is an appetizer, that kind of thing.
Right.
Of course, if somebody wanted to double it up, you can do that too, I guess. We just have to work with that. But I think that's going to be a tasty little item.
I think so too.
We did the linguine marinara, and once again, notice there's no water on the plate. Olive oil, Parmesan, the marinara sauce. It's you know, something we wouldn't recommend serving to a group. You know, maybe use a bit of you know, more like a rigatoni or a penne or something like that. Maybe not a longer pasta. You know, make the linguine with 2 or 4 people or something. If you're going to do it the way we did it here, you know.
Right.
And then we had the steak with the shallot cognac and green peppercorn sauce with the cream finish, which is a really nice thing, and maybe served a little stuffed potato or something like that with it.
Great. Well, that's wonderful. Folks, again, thank you for joining us this evening. We hope you have healthy and happy holidays, and we will see you again next week.